When I feel lost or feel like I can't move forward, I always think of one line from an old Chinese poem, 轻舟已过万重山. When I was a student, I memorized classical Chinese poems just like everyone else, to finish homework, to meet the school's expectations. There were so many lines I could recite by heart, but I rarely truly felt what they meant. Or maybe life was just too short back then. It felt like I had only just started passing my very first mountain. This line comes from a poem by Li Bai, a poet from the Tang Dynasty. 早发白帝城，朝辞白帝彩云间。I left the city in the morning, high among the clouds. 千里江陵一日还. A journey of 1,000 miles to Zhangling, yet it suddenly feels I can be back in one day. 两岸猿声啼不住. The sound of monkeys echoes from both sides of the river. 轻舟已过万重山. Before I even realize it, my small light boat has already passed through thousands of mountains. Li Bai's life wasn't easy. When he wrote this poem, he was being sent into exile and then suddenly he was pardoned. In that moment, he wrote this with a sense of relief. A kind of lightness, the feeling of finally being able to breathe again. This poem has lasted for over 1,000 years and somehow it still comforts people today. So many things once felt impossible to get through, but when I look back now, I've already made it past them. The emotions that once felt so heavy have become soft and distant. When I was little, being criticized by teacher or having my parents called felt like the end of the world. In the middle school, not getting into a good university feels like losing everything. I was once so determined to get into a certain art school because everyone around me was aiming for it too. I even told my mom, if I don't get in, I'll try again next year. And she said, why? That's kind of a waste of time. I didn't understand her back then, but maybe life was never meant to have just one path. I've also stayed up all night for a relationship, thinking that one person was my whole world, but if I met them again now, I might not make the same choice. So many roads that once felt blocked were never really dead ends. They just had exits I couldn't see it. The reason those things once felt like everything was simply because my world was still small. So on this journey, what did I actually do? Honestly, nothing that special. Whether I wanted to or not, life's little boat kept carrying me forward. I guess I just didn't become the person who kept turning back. If every time I look back, my thoughts grow a bit heavier, then I'd rather pause once in a while, tidy up those old things, and let them slowly sink into the river, so that my little boat can stay light. When we look back, we'll realize we've already traveled farther than we ever imagined. 轻舟已过万重山，轻舟才能过万重山。